Okay, I've just gone live, so yeah, here we are, in fact,
Yeah.
live. Right. Hello, everybody. Good evening, and welcome back to another installment of ExA Racing League. We are back once again for X1 Racing, the top tier of EXA, for the third round of the season, here for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. But alongside me from last week, it is my partner in crime, Maloon. How are you?
Yes, good evening. Yeah, I'm doing very well. After last week, we had a very fun race to watch in Vegas, and hopefully it's a repeat of what we saw last week.
Yeah, last week was a ridiculous race. I mean, the whole race up until the final lap was already exciting, but then the final lap was the icing on the cake, where the top six were separated by less than a second. So, like you said there, we do hope for a repeat. But let's see of what kind of racing we could expect around Abu Dhabi compared to Vegas, because Abu Dhabi, in real life at least, always tends to produce a bit of a boring race. But what do you expect in terms of excitement here in Abu Dhabi, considering that it's not a circuit with 11 million straights, because it's a bit more technical, a lot more corners, and not that many long straights?
Um, I think we'll see a couple overtakes, mostly on the two DRS detection zones, I'm guessing. But I think it could it's either one, you'll see a lot of overtakes, or two, we probably could just end up having one large train. But I think even though if we do have one large train, I think we will still see a lot of overtakes tonight.
Yeah, we should hopefully see a lot of overtakes, and maybe we will then have back to repeat of what we had last week in Vegas. And I will give a little refresh on what happened in last week in Vegas. I already gave a little spoiler there that it was a crazy race where the top six were separated by less than a second, less than 3/4 of a second, if we're being a bit more specific. And in that race, Mercedes Roland Alfredson ended up taking the win with a through goes Hamilton overtake on the leading two cars exiting the final braking zone. And yeah, the Mercedes driver took the win with who was that second? Alexei Covero taking second place for Red Bull, and then Jerry Van Bossel, who was the pole sitter for that race, ended up taking third. And then we had the likes of Artur Artelema and Pinsario and Mikalev being 4, 5, and 6, who were in that group of six separated by less than a second. Like I said there, Van Bossel took pole, but then Marco Betak picked up the fastest lap of the race for Ferrari, and Alfredson was voted the driver of the day for that race. But after two rounds, let's have a refresh on what the standings looks like at the moment. So, Pinsario for Mercedes still leads the way with 32 points, and then Alfredson, who didn't score points in last week's race, elevates himself to right behind Pinsario with a total of 25 points now with that win in Vegas. Ties Ryan Grob, in fact. So Grob and Alfredson are on the same amount of points. However, Alfredson is ahead on countback because he did have that win in Vegas. Ryan didn't pick up a win, so hence why Alfredson second, Grob third. Then Alexei Covero is in fourth for Red Bull on 13 points. Then Frederick Dawson is in fifth with 23 points. Actually, no, 23 for both Covero and Dawson. But like with Alfredson, Covero is ahead on countback because he had the better race results throughout the first two races compared to Dawson's AlphaTauri. And then in P6 is the McLaren of Tony Ricci on 20 points. Morgan Edwards 7th with 10 points. Then the two Ferrari drivers are level on points, with Dibuno and Petak both having 9 points each. Though here Marco Dibuno had the better results over the first two races compared to his teammate. And then Tim Terema rounds out the top 10 with 6 points to his name. And then the Constructors' Championship, considering that Mercedes have both their drivers first and second in the Drivers' Championship, obviously they lead the Constructors on 57 points. AlphaTauri currently second on 42 points. Then in P3 sit Ferrari on 33 points. Then Aston Martin fourth on 30 points. McLaren fifth on 26. Red Bull on 6th on 23. Alpine 7th with 16. Williams are in P8 with 10. Same as Haas, though Williams had the best result over the first two races compared to Haas. And then Alfa Romeo are currently at bottom with 4 points. Now, if we count for example, if we count the Ferrari drivers' points together, it makes it 18 points. But then how do Ferrari have 33 points? Well, that's because some of those points were scored by a driver, either one of the reserve drivers or someone who isn't for Ferrari, who isn't driving for Ferrari anymore, but were for Ferrari at the time. But yeah, those are the standings as it stands. We are going to get ready soon, and before we do talk about the Abu Dhabi circuits, what do you expect in terms of who could be drivers you expect to be immediately at the sharp end?
I mean, from my memory of last week, I was gonna say Van Bussel, but I don't, he's not here tonight, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's
But
not here.
I think we'll see. I think we'll see the McLaren of Tony up there. Ryan Grob was doing well, but I think he retired due to having the wrong setup. I feel like we could see the race winner even of Roland up there as well. Again, I think the gap between everyone is so close. I think it's kind of impossible to say who's going to be the person on pole.
Yeah, it is pretty impossible. We did see in Vegas where there are a lot of drivers who are equal on performance, so it is going to be hard to tell who is truly where. But anyway, we're now heading into qualifying for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. The format's very simple, short qualifying, so that means just a single 80-minute session to determine who will start where for the race. And then we will have a 50% race. In the case of Abu Dhabi, it'll be 29 laps around the Yas Marina circuit. 5.28 kilometers or 3.28 miles, 16 turns. The race lap record is a 126.1 set by Max Verstappen in the controversial season finale in 2021. And then in terms of what happened in last year's Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, because we're still going to have Abu Dhabi this week in IRL F1, it hasn't happened yet, so we've got to go by the last year's results. In last year's race, Max Verstappen took pole position with a 123.8. We do expect that to be destroyed, but we'll see by how much. Then the podium for that race was Verstappen, Leclerc, Perez first, second, and third, with Lando Norris picking up the fastest up the race with a 28.3. And as we now head into qualifying, what lap times do we expect for the top guys? Because as I mentioned, at 123.8 was the pole position time for last year. I expect the record to be beaten by well over a second, maybe even 2 seconds, in fact. What do you think by how much it could be beaten?
I mean, I'm trying to remember what my best time around here is. To be honest, I don't actually know, but I think you're very much around what we'll see tonight. I think that lap set by Verstappen, I think that will most likely be beaten tonight.
Yeah, it should be beaten, but we'll see. But the question is by how much rather than if it'll be beaten. Because I remember I don't remember quite what my best lap at Abu Dhabi was, but I do know it is faster than that 23.8. So, yeah, we'll definitely expect those times to be beaten as our first group of drivers exit the pits. And the first of those who will be setting a lap time is last week's race winner, Alfredson in the Mercedes, who is looking to become potentially our first repeat winner of the season. But it is going to be hard to tell who will be exactly where, as you very correctly pointed out, as now everyone apart from Jeremy are exited the pits. Let's have a look at what Roland Alfredson can do. It is first lap around the Yasmin circuit. He exit turn 60, no DRS, down the main straight as he heads towards turn 1, braking just after the 100-meter board down to 5th gear for turn 1. There's going to be plateau through turns 2 and 3. Then turn 4 is a small left-hander key, then heading towards the hairpin of turn 5. This is where Verstappen overtook Hamilton on the final lap in that controversial finale 2 years ago. Hamilton exited very nicely as he heads down towards turn 6, the longest straight on the circuit. He goes down now, the first of 2 DRS zones, as he'll brake hard for turn 6, just up before the 100-meter board, down to 3rd gear around turn 6 and 7. Then nicely up the gears, DRS open as he rounds turn number 8, and he'll head down towards turn number 9. This was recently changed 2 years ago. Mercedes rounds it in very nicely 5th gear as he now heads towards the hotel section around turns 10, 11, braking hard for turn 12 as he now goes under the hotel. The Alpha Tiger getting out of the way very nicely. As the Mercedes driver has 2 corners to go, turn 15 flattered very easily. Now for turn 16 down to 4th gear, then exits the corner very nicely, and our first benchmark is a 22.2. So the real life pole position lap has been immediately beaten. Then Tony Ricci goes a couple steps ahead of Alfreton as he sets a 1:21.7, which is over 2 seconds faster than Verstappen's pole lap from last year. So yeah, my prediction there of him being beaten by around 2 seconds is correct. In fact, Ryan Gobb says, lol JK, I'll beat it by 2.4 seconds as he sets a 21.4 behind that's Jack setting a 22.1, Surprise with a 22.3. Who else? There's one of the Alfa Romeos, Glorkick setting a 22.5, Alu setting a 22.6. That's the second Mercedes of okay, Desi's pit is still in the pits. That's Cohen setting a 22.3. Then we have the Williams of Evil, one of the reserves, on a 23 dead. Then next to cross line will be Marco Betak in the Ferrari as he rounds exits turn 16 and 22.3. Then it'll be his teammate Dipuno, who took pole position for the first round of the season. Hasn't been that super great in race trim, although that's mainly maybe down to bad luck. But either way, Dipuno at the moment with a 21.8 as his first lap. Then it'll be Freddy, another one of the reserves, goes just behind his teammate in 5th with a 22.1. Then next across the line will be Jeremy in the Alfa Romeo as he just about keeps him within track limits at the exit of turn 14. Around turn 15, 16, very cleanly hugging the white line at the exit. It's a 22.3 for the Alfa Romeo. And then it'll be Stefano's Alpine who will be next to cross the line. But okay, I wanted to ask something, but I really forgot as the Alpine. I think the Alpine backed off there, or I think he might have backed off.
Yeah,
yeah.
Coming through the middle sector, it looked like he was practically out of battery. So I don't know. Maybe he forgot to put his ERS or potentially before the start of the lap. Could be why, but I'm not sure.
Probably. Yeah. Probably. I don't know really what happened there, but. Yeah, we do have a 16 in, so not everybody, so it's not quite a full lobby, but still a healthy number of drivers. As you see, the 2 Ferrari drivers pits. Actually, I remember what I wanted to ask. You do notice that the game was recently updated, and now the Ferraris are running the livery that they ran in the real life Las Vegas Grand Prix, which they nearly won in real life. Ferrari didn't do that well in last week's race in Las Vegas here in the ExA. Maybe the special livery could bring them good luck, maybe. We'll see if the Ferraris could maybe do something, because the Ferraris, both drivers, both markers in fact, they were looking good, but considering how close the field is, they had occasionally bad luck. So what do you expect? Maybe what could you expect from the Ferraris? Because I did notice they do have that special livery now. Maybe that livery will bring them good luck.
Yeah, I mean, I want to just say first, thank you. I absolutely love the livery as a first point. Second off, I mean, looking at the looking at the first lap times that we've seen, De Bruno's not De Bruno, sorry. He's done a pretty good lap. He's only 4 tenths off Grob in P1. I think we'll see a better lap from Marco in P9. But yeah, I think this week could turn out to be a better week for the Ferraris as yeah, I think that this livery could be maybe a good luck little hope for them. But like, I absolutely love this livery. This I wish they'd use it this week coming up, but I'm 99% sure they're not. Because I know that some teams are keeping their liveries from Vegas. I think Alfa Romeo and AlphaTauri are both using their Vegas liveries in Abu Dhabi this weekend. But yeah, I think we'll hopefully see a positive race from Ferrari tonight.
Yeah, hopefully, because when Ferrari ran their special livery in Las Vegas last week, they were looking good. Leclerc took pole. Sainz did take the front row, though he got a stupid penalty for a reason that's beyond his control. But Ferrari were looking good in that session, as all I've just noticed. Nardo's just joined in the Haas, but he's immediately retired from the session. I haven't found anything. I don't think he's doesn't have any sort of qualifying ban something, but yeah, that's interesting. He's joined the session, but then pretty much almost immediately retires. So that's a bit interesting, as you can see. Again, almost everybody out on out lap. So Glockig has started a lap. You can see he's nearly a tenth and a half up at the end of sector number 1. So far so good for the Alfa Romeo as he opens the DRS, heading towards turn number 6. He was able to pick up a bit of slipstream from the Williams there. As he now heads towards turn 6, the McLaren will be slow there to let the Alfa Romeo pass. No trouble for the Alfa Romeo whatsoever as he exits turn 7 very nicely. And he'll head towards turn number 9 now. 2 years ago, before 2021, this part of the circuit used to be a left-right left chicane. Now it's just a very long sweeping left-hander. Over 200 kilometers an hour in 5th gear for the Alfa Romeo as he rounds turns number 10 and 11. Then braking for turn 12. Now in the hotel section he goes, and he goes under the hotel round turn 14. The AlphaTauri there. That was a bit too close for comfort there.
That's gonna be questioned potentially by him specifically.
Yeah,
but still, to be fair, P4 there, not bad lap, but definitely probably some more time there if he wasn't blocked.
Yeah, it did look like that was quite sketchy there for the AlphaTauri. That was Freddy there. Freddy says to Freddy, that was the AlphaTauri that sort of kind of blocked him. Yeah, he did improve, but yeah, there could be more in it for him as Stefano validates his latest attempt as Morgan has just joined the session as well. Another one of our full-time drivers. So we're now going to be up to 18 drivers. So the grid is looking very nice as we're going to have a look at some other drivers. We're going to set lap times. Let's have a look when the Ferraris is going to finish his lap time. That's going to be De Bruno, who is over a quarter of a second up at the end of sector number 2. He could potentially put his Ferrari on pole position just about. Keeps him in track limit as he doesn't put it on pole, but he is less than a tenth away from Ryan. As
I was just scrolling through all the laps. Tony was making his way through the long right-hander, and he's had a spin there, but Ryan's just gone even better, so good lap from him. But yeah, I was just scrolling through and I saw Tony was 2 times up, and unfortunately he had a spin coming through that newly right-hander that got implemented a few 1 or 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, I just noticed. Yeah, Tony has now pitted, so that's a bit of a shame for him. We're going to see what the Alfa Romeo that's blocking hitting. Okay, Surprise also pits. Stefano again invalidates his lap time, so that's not good for him. His teammate Mustache is about to complete a lap. Mustache puts himself in a decent 8th position. Not the best, but not the worst. In the midfield, which is tends to be the most sketchy place, as Jack Jones also validates his lap. Marcus K is in the pit. Okay, Tabuna's about to pit. Same with Ryan. Let's see who else. Okay, nobody is on a. Yeah, nobody at the moment is on a push lap. Yeah, because everybody is either pitted or is on a in lap. So yeah, we can see already there that looks like Robert, Buddha, and Tony are the ones who are showing the big fastest lap times. And if my maths are correct, the real-life pole position lap time from last year's Abu Dhabi Grand Prix has been beaten by 2.6 seconds. So, yeah, the times are have gone down dramatically. In fact, every single person who is in this lobby who has set a lap time, of those who set the lap time, have beaten the pole position for last year's Abu Dhabi Grand Prix by at least 8/10. So, yeah, it shows the difference between game and real life. Yeah, talking of Abu Dhabi, we did obviously talk about the track changes in 2021, and I did also wrote down in my notes of some notable races or notable moments from the history of Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, which was first held in 2009. So 2009 was the first ever Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and it was held every year since. And probably the most infamous race in Abu Dhabi's history, no question, it has to be 2021 because of what happened in the last few laps.
Yeah. I'm gonna be brutally honest. Abu Dhabi 21 was probably the first F1 race that I actually watched. So when I remember just seeing that Max and Lewis are going into that race in the same points. I was like, maybe I should give this a try. I went on and watched it, and I was like, I didn't really know much about like safety car rules and all the drama and stuff. But after Max won, and actually now having some solid knowledge of it, uh, I don't. It might. I could. You might. This might be wrong. Might be not. I think, in my opinion, it just. I'd say the right driver won, but not in the like a good way. I don't think it was I don't think it was planned correctly, or like how they managed to deal with the safety car. I don't think it was the right idea, in my opinion.
Yeah, and yeah, your opinion is the same as mine, because I've been watching Formula One regularly since 2018. It's the middle of 2018. So that's over 5 years I've watched this sport regularly, so I have a bit more knowledge. And you pretty much said the correct, I think, how pretty much everyone should look at this, because for my opinion, I didn't really care if it went to Max or Lewis. I just really enjoyed the fact that we had such a crazy season where it went down to the wire, where the who was fastest was going back and forth a lot. But yeah, you pretty much said it correctly and very well there. That Max definitely deserved the title, but yeah, it wasn't handled the way correctly. So they called in the safety car, and not in the correct timing. I almost lost my English there. But what they did is that usually during safety car procedures, they would remove every single. They would let every single back marker unlap themselves and catch up to the rear of the train. But for 2021, they only allowed the back markers that are between Max and Lewis to go past, but not the ones that were behind them. But then, as soon as all those cars passed the safety car, then the message "safety car in this lap" was given, which is incorrect. They only give the safety car in this lap signal once all of the cars, all those unlapped cars have unlapped themselves and have caught up to the safety car train. So in the case of Abu Dhabi, the correct way I see two different scenarios how that's incident with Latifi when Latifi crashed. I see there are two different ways they could have definitely done it differently so that it wasn't maybe as controversial. They could have either ended the race under the safety car, which would have meant Hamilton would have gotten his 8th World Championship, or they could have potentially pulled out a red flag, and then maybe would have a potential standing start as Marco has a bit of a spin at the exit of turn 9.
That was close to the Alpine blood. That was very close. I don't know if the Alpine would have been the Ferrari would be ghosted or not. That was really close.
Yeah, luckily we do have a thing called ghosting in this game, so Tibuno's car was ghosted, so that's good to know. But anyway, we'll talk about Abu Dhabi 2021 a bit more in a sec, but before that, the checkered flag has fallen. Qualifying for Abu Dhabi is now over. Everybody is about to finish their final flying laps. Tony Ricci first across the line, but he goes super wide off the track. Doesn't improve, and he stays in 3rd for the time being. But will he stay there for long? We do not know. As Dibuno crosses the line, he pits, so he stays in 2nd fastest. So Dibuno's chance of running for pole are over as Devil finishes off in 15th. Surprise puts himself in 7th. Glocking puts himself in 7th ahead of Surprise. Then it is the Aston of Cohen next across the line as the other AlphaTauri pits. Cohen puts himself 3rd, demotes Richie to 4th. Then Ryan pits. Ryan in the Aston heads into the pit lane. So at the moment, Ryan's on provisional pole position, but will he be there for long as Jack has been bumped down to 10th. Let's see who else is going to be where. Roland Alfredson, last week's racer, that finishes off in 4th. And looks like Jack has backed off from his lap. So Jack's qualifying is over as well. As he'll round the final corner, and he is not going to improve. So that is Abu Dhabi X1 qualifying over. I almost said Abu Dhabi 2021, but no, it is X1 Abu Dhabi qualifying over, and it is the Aston Martin of Ryan who will start from pole position with a fairly big gap, nearly 4/10 from Tibuno, and then Jaromir takes his Alfa Romeo in 3rd. Then alongside him on the 2nd row is last week's winner Alfredson for Mercedes, then Cohen in 5th, then Tony Ricci, then Freddie, Alu, Glocking and Surprise rounding out the top 10. Behind them, we have Jack Jones, then Moustache, then Stefano, Marco SK, then Evil, Nardo, Morgan, and Desi. We did have the Spectre joining in as well. So we are actually going to have, in fact, 19 drivers. So that is going to be it for qualifying. And now it is time for the main race. 29 laps around the Yas Marina circuits. What could we expect in terms of strategies?
I mean, I'm guessing. I'm pretty sure everyone ran all 3 softs, or everyone did 3 soft tire runs. So I think we'll just see potentially just the one stop, possibly a medium hard or hard medium. Unless we get a late safety car, people will probably box onto those used softs, but we'll probably only see a one stop here tonight if I had to take a guess.
Yeah, we could. That could be potentially a one stop, but obviously that does depend if we get any safety cars or not, which is possible, knowing what happened in 2021, what we were talking about here. But now I'm just having to find. I'm having to invite somebody. I'm being asked to invite somebody back into the game. So yeah, I'm going to try to find him. God, I've so many people added, I can't find where the guy is. Oh God, my friends list in the F1 game is quite large. I'll say that. Yeah, I can't find him, so that's a bit of a shame. But hopefully someone could invite him, as I can't find him. But anyway, we head to the 5 red lights for the X1 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And it is lights out, and away we go. Ryan and Marco getting a very equal start off the line. Though the Ferrari is going to try to go down the inside. No, he isn't. The bastard of Ryan getting a good off the line. There's a couple cars wide there. Pretty much everybody managing to survive turn one nicely as Ryan gets a good start ahead of Marco, ahead of Jamin and Richie fourth. And then we have a couple drivers side by side. The two Williams drivers side by side. That's the AlphaTauri there. Making contact at CPI. Jack there making contact with surprises somebody else at the back as we now head down towards turn 6. Marco SK is under pressure now from CPI Jack Jones as the Williams Evil's going himself up into the top 10, but he makes been spun round. The Williams of Evil's been spun round by the Alpine of Stefano, that was, so that'll be under investigation as we now head down towards 10. I'm going to go 3 wide here. Look at this for action. Oh, the Alpine's now round. Wing into the wall, and now it is Alpine's 15th and 16th. A disastrous start for them. Vettel starts to lap 1 in the midfield as Morgan makes a move on Jack for 10th place. But up ahead, that's Debuna. I just noticed Debuna has dropped from 2nd to 5th whilst that all is happening. So it is Ryan leading from Tony, leading from Freddie, then Jeremy, and then Marco Debuna in 5th place. So then behind them we have Alu, Cohen, Alfred has dropped to 8th, then Gorky and Morgan rounding up the top 10. But a fairly intense first lap so far, so you can see in terms of strategies, as Ryan has been overtaken by Tony in the McLaren, as there is just
the bonus spun, the bonus
spun. The bonus spun at turn 5, so it's a disastrous first lap and a bit for the Ferrari drivers. He's now down to 16th. What a dismal moment there for him, as I believe that was SK trying to make a move on Jack, wasn't able to make it work there as the 2 cars literally go through each other. Bloody more, so they both go through each other. Meanwhile, Jeremiah has overtaken Cohen. Meanwhile, Alfred's getting in the action as well as they go side by side through turn 9. The Aston's on the outside, and now the Mercedes has the outside line heading towards the hotel section. The Aston has the inside. The Mercedes is going to try to hang it around the outside, still side by side as they go under the hotel. And the Mercedes pushes the Aston a little bit off track as someone's trying to insert the back. I think it's non-stop to Bruno. It is Evil's Williams again, and Marco SK has also spun, and I think that's the Ferrari. Has a bit of front wing damage. He doesn't have any visual damage, but yeah, a bit of a disastrous start for him. But up front, Tony leads the way for McLaren. Then it is Freddie. Then Ryan, as Evil has retired in the pit lane, so that is our first retirement of the race confirmed. As DRS is now enabled, that will allow Freddie to gain on Richie. Is the AlphaTauri going to go down the inside? No, not on this occasion. Not close enough. As Conan and AlphaTauri are going to go side by side. The Mercedes is going to go down the inside of the Aston. The Aston hangs it side by side. And side by side, the exit. The Mercedes almost knocks down the DRS board. Luckily doesn't. But the Mercedes is ahead of the Mercedes-powered Aston Martin. The Aston and Cohen had a look around the outside turn 9, but not successful as he's now under pressure from Morgan's Haas as they now go side by side towards the hotel section, but the Mercedes Aston hangs on ahead of that. But a fairly intense first few laps, and you can see in terms of strategies, a decent variety of strategies, but the top 2 at the moment running on those soft tires. So I think those two are looking to potentially go on to a 2-stopper, like a very aggressive 2-stopper. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, let me just try to get the tires up. So yeah, I think the top 2, both on those softs, I think they're going to be probably boxing. We got 29 laps. I would expect them. They're probably going to do maybe like a soft medium, or maybe a soft. Even try and maybe gamble 1 stop on the soft hard, but that will be very much a challenge. But they're going very aggressive on their setup. I'm just going to say this: Freddie is now just sent one up the inside and is taking the lead of the race as well as we also already have two retirements. Jack Jones and Eva are also unfortunately already out of the race.
Yeah, as now, as you say that, Tony takes back the race lead. So Freddie held on to that lead for just a few hundred meters, but now Tony's back into the race lead. Meanwhile, Jeremy has made the move on Ali for fourth place. The Red Bulls down to fifth. Alfredson is up a few places, sixth, as the AlphaTauri of Jack, who retired in the pit lane, has in fact retired along with Evil. So two retirements in pit lane confirmed. Yasner's in the wall. Yaston of Cohen, that's in the wall at turn 14. His front wing completely decapitated. And that is Yaston definitely boxy. But I do want to mention something. We were talking about qualifying about the Ferrari's white livery potentially bringing them good luck. Hasn't worked out that well, has it?
No, I mean, I think I'm not. I know the Bono got spun out by when Verstappen got the infamous overtake on Hamilton, or I don't. Oh, he spun out. I don't know if he got taken out, sorry. But yeah. So far, it's not going brilliantly for them. But we'll have to see because again, we could still see some more late safety car or anything. So anything is still honestly possible. But we still have a three-way fight for the lead of the race, and Freddie has now once again taken that lead back now from the McLaren.
Yeah, he has taken that race lead back from McLaren, and Ryan is doing a very good job at keeping up with these guys, despite being on those hard tyres compared to the McLaren and AlphaTauri, who are both on the soft tyres. But towards the end of the stint, Ryan's hards will become superior. But at the moment, on paper, at this stage, the salts would be slightly better. But yeah, Ryan doing a very good job at hanging on with these guys. So Ryan could well be potentially the man to beat, considering how well he's hanging on. As Marco at the back, SK picks up a time penalty. Meanwhile, Ryan is getting very friendly with the McLaren of Tony Ricci as he had a look at the hairpin of turn 5, but doesn't make the move there. He will have a try down the back straight with DRS as the McLaren of Cohen has crashed, and that's a full safety car deployed. Cohen in the Aston Martin has crashed in the hotel section at the exit of turn 13, and that is a full course safety car deployed on lap 6.
Yeah, if you want to see something, I was trying to figure out what happened to Colin, but I think he's crashed just going through the hotel section, but yeah, really unfortunate. We saw him obviously in the wall just the last lap ago, but I think now I would expect to see Freddie and Tony into the pit lane. Maybe the hard runners could extend a little bit longer, but maybe you could even see the medium runners go into the pits. But I think we'll definitely see Freddie and Tony box, and Freddie's boxing.
There we go.
Tony's boxing. Ryan is going to stay out. Jeremy, he is going to stay out. Alu's into the pits.
He's on the hard
Morgan's
well.
going to stay out.
Interesting
yeah,
there.
He's on the hard, so he already wants to change tyres. Could possibly go for maybe a two-stop medium, but so looking at the tyres, mediums for Freddie, hards for Tony, Alu's in, Desi's in for hards, Debuno's in for some mediums, Stefano,
Ferrari's a double stacking.
I think that is mediums. Yeah, Ferrari's double stacking as well. So Marco, what's he gonna go on to? It is a mediums for him and Nadia Mustache. I don't think we're actually in the lobby. I think they DC'd at the start of the race, unfortunately.
Yeah, Nadia and Mustache, yeah, they are not in the lobby. They disconnected, hence their cars are currently ghosted. It is the AI drivers that are driving that. But yeah, we can see that the current top 6 haven't made pit stops. And actually, I think Actually, I think Freddie took the lead before the safety car came out, or Freddie. Oh yeah, Freddie was ahead of Richie when the safety car came out. So I initially thought that maybe Freddie jumped Tony, but no, the Alpha Tyre was already ahead on track before the safety car was deployed. But yeah, interesting. Yes, you can see the ghosted cars have stayed out. So Marcus K is in between those two AI ghosts. And so you can see that Ryan is now the race leader. And I think now those hard tire runners and medium tire runners are gonna be able to extend their stint just that tiny bit, as we've been a little bit of an itchy moment at the midfield, as some drivers almost rear-ended others, as I was able to just about see a tire lock up. And you can see there the Aston Martin safety car leading a Aston Martin F1 car that is leading the pack of Ryan Grubb, as Morgan, that's Morgan pitting from those medium compound tires. So he's going to be right at the back. So maybe missed the pit lane or something when the safety car came out, or maybe he just thought of pitting. But let's see as the Haas driver goes on to a set of hard compound tires. I think at this stage, those who are pitted now, I think those guys are definitely probably going to go to a two-star, because even those who are on hard, I doubt they're going to be able to extend those tires for 20 plus laps.
Yeah, I mean, you never know, because you could. I'm not saying that I'm not saying it's possible, but I think you could honestly stay out, but on those hards to the end. But there is a very good chance to get overtaken. But I think everyone who's boxed for the mediums, so both Ferraris, Stefano, Alu, Freddie, I think they are definitely going to be boxing again. But you never know. We could see some people who box with hards. We could see them honestly just try and gamble and stay out to the end, just to try and hold track position. You never know. Maybe we get a late safety car and it's a free pit stop for them.
Yeah, if in fact there is a late safety car, then that will bode well for those people you just mentioned there. But yeah, you never know, as the safety car will be coming in at the end of this lap, at the end of lap number 8. You can see the safety car already pulling away from the pack. All the rest, everybody, Ryan and behind everybody, having to now reduce their speed to a steady around 80-ish kilometers an hour, as the safety car now rounds the hotel section to peel into the pit lane. Okay, a bit of a sketchy moment there. Surprise has left the session. Surprise has disconnected, so he will be, unless he gets back into the lobby really quickly before we ride across the start-finish straight, Surprise is going to be dropping a whole lot of places quickly, so that's a very unfortunate for him, as I think Ryan has now put his foot to the floor. Yes, he has. Gets a pretty good launch compared to everybody else, and now we are officially back racing, as then Glockinger spun! Glockinger spun!
Oh no, Glotzy.
Oh my god, that's such an embarrassing moment for the Alfa Romeo, as he was very much up there. But unfortunately, Spencer Stefano goes a bit wide at the exit turn 1. The Ferraris 9th and 10th. A couple drivers picking up penalties for ignoring yellow flags. So that's a bit sketchy, as Desi's had a look on Stefano. The Ferraris are getting in the mix as well, as we do have a couple drivers who picked up penalties for ignoring yellow flags. Tony and Alu going side by side towards turn 6. And the McLaren has been overtaken by the Red Bull. Meanwhile, Marcus K makes a move on Morgan. Morgan going a bit wide as he now tries to hang on to P10 from Desi. Though Desi's going to try to get a better drive. No overtakes being done there at the moment. But meanwhile, we can see Ryan getting a good launch and leads the way from Jeremy, from Alfredson. Then Freddie in fourth, then Alu, then Tony Richard, then Stefano, then the two Ferraris who swap places, then Morgan rounds up the top 10, and the Desi and the Ghosted Surprise in the final points positions. Though I think Nod actually, in fact, behind the Desi, there are 3 ghosted cars and 2 non-ghosted cars of Glockic and
De Bono's in. De Bono's in.
Oh yeah, De Bono's in.
And a Desi.
De Bono and a Desi in for fresh set of tires. So that's interesting. And a front wing change. Oh yeah, so they must have picked up front wing damage somewhere that we didn't see.
Desi's on softs. The Desi's going soft tires. Now that is, I don't know if that's a mistake or not. Surely that can't be right.
Well, unless I think the only logic that I have that has of a Desi going onto the softs is him potentially praying for a late race safety car that he could pit onto another fresh set of softs, so he could like charge up the field. Then a late safety car could come in. Then he could pit for a fresh set of softs, not lose that much time. Then he could charge again. That's the only logic in Desi's strategy. But yeah, other than that, yeah, it's a very bizarre strategy from him. As you can see, if you have a look, we can see, oh, look at that. So that's the Red Bull Mercedes. They're going side by side. Alu trying to make a move on Alfredson. Alfredson being pushed into the wall. He's now under pressure from Richie, who's made the move just. And that's, I think Alfredson will be a bit fuming at Alu there, as Freddy is gaining slowly on Jeremy for second place. Gets very close. I think somebody in the chat is saying that I need to invite somebody. Though whilst that's happening, Freddy goes round the outside of Jeremy. Brilliant move there from the AlphaTauri, and he's now going to be under pressure from the Alfa Romeo. Jeremy again as he heads towards turn 6, as they are both also gaining on race lead. And Ryan Gomez looking at Freddy going very late on the brakes. Bit of contact there, and the AlphaTauri is forced off the track a bit there. That was a super late move from the Alfa Romeo. Let's look at Alice joining this fight as well. We're going to go 3 wide. Look at this. This is not going to end well. Or is it going to end well?
Oh. They keep it clean. Still, Grov's got it. He still has it work. But he could send, he's going to send it. He's going to get the move. And he will get the move done. Good move, Freddy. Now takes the lead on those new mediums.
Yeah, takes that lead, and that was in fact actually a very late move from the AlphaTauri. Didn't expect him to go there at 6, but somehow made it work at the end. As look at the train, the top 9 together in one single train. Goodness me. So any of these 9 could potentially take the dub, as Glockic has now had another moment at the second to last corner. He spins at just before the pit entry. As we're on to now lap 12 of 29. Ali makes a move.
Ali's just sent one up the inside.
Yeah, he sent it on Ryan. Meanwhile, there's an Alpine Moose. No, that's not Moose. That's
Stefano. Stefano's had a spin.
Yeah, that's Stefano having a spin as a Glockic hits. Meanwhile, Alu stays ahead of Ryan, who was able to make a move there. Tony Ricci getting very close as they now exit the chicane. DRS wide open as my phone drops to the floor. But whilst that is happening, are there going to be any overtakes here? The answer is no. No overtakes being done here. Although the front Morgan went a little bit wide. I think that's Richie and Ryan nearly going side by side as they enter the hotel section. Somebody in the chat is telling me that I need to invite him. I can't add people whilst in the lobby, so whoever...
If they want to add me, what I'll do is I will...
Yeah, they would have to either add... He would need to either add you or me, because I can't add people whilst in an active session. As Ryan picks up a penalty for multiple warnings. That's not going to be good for him at the end of the race. Meanwhile, Morgan is getting close to Marco SK. Is he going to send it at the hairpin? He's going to try to go round the outside, you know. Hangs it round the outside, keeps it clean, and beautifully makes the move. just about, as now Tony Ricci is going to make the move on the Aston of Ryan, and the McLaren is now up into the podium place. Meanwhile, Alu has got very close to Freddie. It is the senior Red Bull versus the sister / junior Red Bull. Red Bull versus AlphaTauri. AlphaTauri will be renamed to something else for 2024. No confirmation on what that name exactly was. As we round turn number 9, Red Bull Racing staying behind AlphaTauri, as Ricci is still hanging on to 3rd. Morgan still pressurizing Jeremy for 5th. At the back, the field has spread out a little bit, though the top 7 still to get in one single train as Alfredson picks up another time penalty. As he now rounds the final corner, Morgan still behind Jaromir. Now Marcus Case slowly joining this fight. Alfredson is the only one in this field who hasn't made a single pit stop yet, along with Ryan and Jaromir. So those are the 3 who haven't made their mandatory stops yet. As we now head down towards turn number 6, the Red Bull of Alu is gaining on the AlphaTauri of Freddie, but backs off. So the Red Bull then deciding to back off. Meanwhile, Morgan does make the move on Jeremy for 5th place. Great move there from the Haas on the Alfa Romeo. So the Alfa Romeo will try to fight back with DRS down towards turn number 9. A surprise is back in the session. That is good to see, so he can try to salvage something from 15. Meanwhile, Marco Debuda has made the move on Adesi for 10th place, and Debuda is back into the top 10. Marco is, the SK Marco is into 7th place. As the top 3 have managed to pull themselves away a bit from the other parts of the trade. As it is Freddie, Alu, Ricci, the top 3. Glocke picks up a penalty for corner cutting. So that's a bigger penalty than the 3 seconds you usually get for track limits. The Alfa Romeo getting a bigger, fatter penalty for a even more serious corner cut. As we are already halfway through this race, we're on to lap 15 of 29 here in Abu Dhabi. The top 3 are nose to tail. These top 3 have been dicing with each other for the last few laps. Ali backed off from a move on Freddie the last lap. This time the Red Bull is going to make the move on the AlphaTauri. The McLaren of Tony Ricci is going to try to follow down the inside. The AlphaTauri is going to try to hang in round, though, makes contact with the McLaren, pushes the Papaya car wide. They still go side by side towards turn 9, but the McLaren is marginally ahead of the AlphaTauri. So the AlphaTauri will kind of look at the inside turn 9, but decide to back off, and the McLaren is now in 2nd place and can start to potentially make a move on Alu's Red Bull. Meanwhile, Adesi on his softs is in P11. He is gaining slowly on Marco Bruno. So I don't know how that strategy is going to work out for poor Adesi, as he will definitely have to pray for a late race safety car if he wants any chance of winning this race, or even gaining a whole lot of more places.
Yeah, I mean, how many laps do we still have? We have 13 laps, and those softs by the end of it. If he doesn't box and he just stays out, there's probably a good chance he probably could even end up on a puncture. So, I think he's praying for a safety car. But in terms of the race lead, Tony has now, with the DRS, just nice and easy got the move done on the Red Bull. Freddie's not too far behind either. Morgan is 2 seconds back. There's a couple of penalties going out to the track limits, but Alu should have a run here on the McLaren once again. We'll see. As it heads towards the super right-hander, will he have a chance at going for it? He's gonna back out. I don't think there was enough track, but Tony now has the lead. So these 3 obviously, they boxed under the full safety car.
Yep.
So I'm guessing them 3 are all going to be going straight to the end. as well as also Ryan is kind of holding up Morgan behind the Haas as well as Marco, as he's not boxed yet. So I think the Aston Martin will probably be boxing very shortly.
Jaromir
As
pits.
who's that? Jaramir's in. So Jaromir in the Alfa Romeo, he is into the pit lane, and Ryan is still going to stay out on those very old hard tires. So we could maybe even see Ryan maybe put on some sauce maybe even to the end of the race. Maybe you never know.
Yeah, you never know. As as Ryan has officially gone the longest of anyone on a single set of tires. 16 laps he's gone. It'll be 17 laps if he were to pit now. As you did point out, Tony Ritchie is in the lead. For how much longer? As Ali had DRS, though Tony was also able to pick up DRS because he was lapping one of the ghosted cars. I think it was Mustache to pass there down the back straight. This time down the straight towards turn 9, Tony Ritchie has no DRS. Ali has DRS, but like a lap ago, wasn't quite close enough to make with there, although Reddy getting very, very close for a move. As the Red Bull has a bit of a wiggle at the exit, it's going to give Reddy the opportunity to get even closer, but not quite able to make a move at the hotel section. He's going to stay behind the Red Bull during the rest of the final couple of corners. They round turn 15, and then now towards turn 16 they go. We end lap 17, and Ryan still stays out. So I think he is going to maybe go onto those soft tires potentially. So he's really going for that one-stop strategy. As Tony, I was going to say Tony has a comfortable lead, but he doesn't have a comfortable lead. But we're actually going to have a look at penalties. But first of all, in terms of positions gained, Morgan is the biggest winner. He has gained 12 positions compared to where he started. The biggest loser was Cohen, who is retired. He lost a total of 11 positions compared to where he started. But in terms of the more juicy bit penalties, we have a whole lot of drivers and penalties. But before that, Morgan takes 4th place away from Ryan. So I think Ryan's tires are going to slowly start to fade away as the Aston has DRS. He is looking to potentially take back that 4th place from the Haas. The Haas doesn't really fight it, and the Aston is now back up into 4th place. But anyway, as I was saying, in terms of penalties, we've got a whole lot of penalties. So, in order from 1st place to last. So, Tony has 5 seconds worth of penalties. Alu has 10 seconds worth of penalties. Freddy has 5 seconds worth of penalties. Then Ryan, well, let's look at this. I think that's Freddy Pinner. Yes, it is. From those medium compound tires, I think he is going to go onto the soft compounds. So we'll look at what he's going to go on. I think it is going to be on the soft. Lap 19 of 29. So there'll be 11 laps he will go on.
Yeah, it is soft. So it is soft. He's got a certain penalty. He has to serve his
5-second penalty.
It looks like.
Yeah, he is going to serve that.
It is fresh sauce.
Yeah, it is fresh sauce, and he did serve that 5-second penalty. So I was going to say that he had a 5-second time penalty, but he doesn't anymore. As now Tony has got to now worry about now 1 car at the moment instead of 2. Though here turn 6, no move being made by Alu. As I'm going to go through the penalties again from order. So Tony 5 seconds, Alu 10 seconds, then Ryan 3, Morgan 3, Marco SK 3, Stefano 3, Alfredson 3, blocking 8, and surprise 3 seconds. That is a lot of penalties for a lot of drivers. Bit of a penalty bonanza here at Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, I mean, well, we have half of the group of penalties, but to be fair, this track is a place where you can get penalties, but I mean, you never know, maybe penalties could be removed after due to maybe getting those penalties by force, potentially, just by maybe getting run wide or whatever. So whatever penalties we have right now, we'll definitely see more penalties added on and possibly removed after the race, probably.
Yeah, definitely. As there can also be penalties after the race when drivers can obviously protests of incidents they feel like where a driver should be penalized, where the game didn't give a penalty. So those could be factored in, as well as Glorking adds another 3-second time penalty to his 8 already. Morgan now is up to 6 seconds with the penalties as well to lap 20 of 29. 10 laps to go in this race. So let's see what Freddy can do on those soft tires. As Surprise, who is back in the session, is down at 13. 1 place away from the points, though he is over half a minute behind the closest points finisher. As Alfredson makes a move on to Buda for 8th place. They do have a couple of back markers, though they are ghosted, so they could get past those guys easily. As there's no good for Buda there, as the back markers mean that Alfredson gets a bit of dose of DRS to prevent a potential overtake at turn 9. Meanwhile, at the front, no pit stops by Tony or Ali right now. Ryan still hasn't made his pit stop. He has now gone 20 laps on those hard tires. So that's interesting, very interesting from Ryan. I think he's either going to go for a super late charge on those salt. I think he's going to go onto the salts, but it's going to be a question of where he'll end up, because obviously maybe he's going to be praying for a potential second safety car. Though I was about to make like a joke where maybe his teammate Cohen could crash and cause a safety car, kind of like Crashgate in 2008. But I just remembered, oh yeah, Cohen retired ages ago, so Ryan will just have to pray on someone else crashing for a late safety car to be caused, and then when he'll pit for those soft tires, he won't lose that many positions, but he could lose a position into Morgan via DRS. So here, no news being made here. I think Alu's slowly losing time to Tony, as they're both on 14 lap ball tires. Though right now, I think at this stage, I think those hard tires on Tony's car are going to be superior to Alu's mediums, because the mediums wear out quicker compared to the hards. And now Alu's out of DRS range, so Alu will not be getting DRS assistance down the 2 zones. So he will now be losing even more time to the McLaren, as Debuda picks up another penalty for track limits. So that's not good for him. As we can see, Jaromir has gained and was almost side by side with Stefano towards turn 1. As we can see, they're both on mediums, so Jaromir is on 10 lap fresher tires. As you can see the grip difference, I think Jaromir will definitely go from around the outside. No, it's not going to be the outside, it's going to be the inside for turn 5. Alfredson's joined this fight as well on his soft tires. Here we go. We could potentially go 3 wide heading towards turn 6. Let's have a look where these guys are going to go. Oh, this is very close. They almost went either side of the Alfa Romeo. Almost the Schumacher Hakkinen Sontes incident, but whoa, what a switchback move there from Alfredson. As he gets the move.
Oh god, there's 4.
Oh yeah, there's 4 of them together, as Alfredson made a move on Stefano, now makes the move on Jaromir for P6. This is going to get dicey, as Freddy is getting involved as well. And here's AlphaTauri, a bit of banging between the 2 Alphas. Still banging, the AlphaTauri hanging around the outside. Now is the inside, and they are now past. And now Alfredson 6th, Freddy 7th, then Jaromir, Stefano, Debuda running at the top 10. That was a bit of a dicey moment, as Alfredson managed to form a very beautiful switchback
Walker is into the pit lane for... He's just boxed off his thin up old mediums as well.
Yeah, he's pitted in fact, so that's a bit interesting for him. Don't know what happened there. Didn't look like he made a front wing change, so yeah, man, that's a bit of a bizarre moment there. But anyway, 2.6 already between Tony and Alu, so yeah, Tony is by far the fastest, by far faster now compared to Alu, because those hards at this stage are better than the mediums, when they're both on 60 lap bolts. But I think Ryan still out on those 22 lap on the Haas as he makes a move on Morgan there for third. Breeze is passing back with DRS, and now Ryan's back into third place. But Ryan will surely have to pit this lap, because he can't stay out on those hards forever, because he'll then get disqualified for not using all of the mandatory tires. By mandatory tires, I mean he'll get disqualified for not using at least 2 different tire compounds. So, yeah, a bit weird for that. As there we go, Ryan finally must have heard what I was saying and heads into the pit lane for a set of tires. He'll drop quite a bit of positions. I think he'll even drop down to 10th, maybe, or even 11th, depending on where he comes out. He will, no surprise, goes on to those soft questions where he'll come out. I think he'll come out in 9th, just about. Yeah, I think he will come out in 9th, I think, just about. I'm looking at Mark at the moment. Or can Marco even get ahead, maybe? No, the Aston does just about get ahead, and Ryan is out in 9th and can start to charge up the field. But Marco De Bruyne is going to be another one who will try to make a move, as he's going to go on the outside lane of Stefano's Alpine, and wait before the braking zone. The Ferrari gets past with DRS. So here the Alpine will get a dose of DRS himself, though bit of a wiggle at the exit. That's not going to help him to take back that position. But up ahead, Alfredson and Freddy are tussling for 4th place, side by side. There you go. And Jeremy picks up a penalty for cutting corners just behind them. But we can see that the AlphaTauri just about clicking ahead of the Mercedes. But but yeah, I think late safety cars now at this point, I think, unlikely, with now being 5 laps remaining. So I think now what Tony has to do is just hang on, damage limitation. I mean, he does have charging people behind him. I don't think they'll have enough time to catch up. Even with Freddy on his softs, Ralph on his fresh meters, I don't think they're gonna catch up, are they?
I mean, I don't feel like he's going to catch up, because now he's going to be on a throw from Roland. I just want to give a shout out here to Morgan. He's up 14 places for where he started, so he can even end up on the podium here. But Roland now should send one, and he's going to take that 4th place back from Freddie. Freddie's also now just got a penalty now. So basically, apart from the drivers who are not in the lobby, Desi is the only one without a time penalty right now. But now, Freddy and Roland still going to remain side by side, but Freddy is going to get that place back. But in terms of the penalties again, if I get to it real quick. So Morgan's got 6 seconds, Freddy has 3. So Morgan is honestly really hoping that Roland and Jaromir can hopefully just keep trying to attack Freddy and to hopefully keep that gap, because if Morgan is able to get this podium when he started 17th on the grid, I think that is going to be one hell of a race for the Haas driver tonight. Yeah, that will be a one hell of a race for the Haas driver, as Ryan sets the new fastest lap of the race with a 24 dead, as he makes the move on Marco De Bruyne. Meanwhile, Marcus K makes a move on Stefano for 10th place, as we have 3 laps to go in this race. Yeah, as you can see there, and Desi and the 2 ghosted cars, that we're not going to count them. Yeah, Desi is the only one without a time penalty, though he is 13 seconds behind Stefano, who has a 3-second time penalty. So even after penalties, Desi isn't going to gain any places, so a bit of a shame for him. At least he will have the bonus of being, or the rewards of being the cleanest driver of this evening's race, as Alfredson makes the move on Freddy for 4th place. Last week's race winner showing why he won in Vegas, because he does have the skills to overtake people cleanly. As we now start lap 27, 3 laps to go. All Tony has to do is just hang on,
cruise to the end without any extra penalty headaches. As now we're going to focus on the closest on-track battle, which is between Alfredson, Freddy, and Jaromir. 4th, 5th, and 6th. Locked horns together as they exit turn number 1, rounding turns 2 and 3 very nicely. We're on board with the Alfa Romeo of V10 Jaromir as we head towards the hairpin of turn number 5. No dramas yet for any of these guys right now. DRS open for the AlphaTauri and Alfa Romeo. They're both going to be getting on the Mercedes, but I don't think any of them will be making any moves. Yeah, no moves going to be made. Freddy not making a kamikaze dive this time. Though he could maybe make one towards turn 9 as he is now a lot closer to the Mercedes now. Jeremy is just hanging on as much as he can. As here we go, round the outside goes the AlphaTauri. The Mercedes trying to hang on. Mercedes does hang on ahead. No, the Mercedes goes a bit off track there. They'll probably get a warning for that. So one step closer to another additional potential penalty to the end of the race. As these three who are locked together, they all have 3-second time penalties each. So if for example, if Alfredson gets another warning and a potential another penalty, that'll be a free position for the AlphaTauri and Alfa Romeo as they have 2 laps to go. Surprise picks up another penalty. 6 seconds now to his name. But yeah, that of those penalties, I think you're saying the yeah, it's gonna be a bit. It's gonna be it. You're saying that there are so many penalties. I think it's gonna be sort of kind of hard to right now calculate who will be where at the end of the race.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of penalties. I'm trying to do the math right now, but yeah, my math is not up to notch as it was probably a good couple months ago.
Yeah.
So I don't. We'll have to just see when we get to the checker flag, where everyone's gonna finish. Stefano's just picked up another penalty, but I think we'll see. I've seen a lot of people with the back, more towards the back end of the points, have all decided to box the new tires. I think we could see people try to stop the box lap. The 2 Ferraris are having a scrap right now, and it's Marco who will get the move. But
there's yellows. There's a spin. That's Debudo. Oh, that's
Morgan. Morgan's had a spin.
Oh, Morgan's had a spin. That's such a shame. I'm surprised picks up the fast race. I was actually going to say that before Morgan spun, he was less than 4 seconds behind Alu. So I meant that with him having 6 seconds worth of penalties and Alu 10th, before that spin, Morgan was on course for a potential 2nd place finish, but now he jumps to 9th and retires from the session. So that is a huge shame for the Haas as he was on course for 2nd off the penalties. But unfortunately, it's going to result in 0 points as we now start the final lap of the race. Surprise in 13 is going to get lapped by race leader Tony Ritchie. As the battle here for now, what is the final place on the podium is now raging on. As any of these drivers now can potentially move up into 2nd place. As they all need to be just within 7 seconds of 2nd place. As we can see now, Alu's at the moment on course for 3rd place. There's a bit of a moment. That's Alfredson White. And now Ryan Gomp is up into 5th on the soft tires. He's now going to potentially maybe get up into 4th or 3rd. Let's see. As Tony Ritchie wins the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix for McLaren. Brilliant drive from the Frenchman as Alu will cross the line 2nd on the right. But the fight for the final podium place is here. Let's see. And Freddy, the AlphaTauri, after penalties, takes 2nd. And then Jaromir takes the final step on the podium. And Ryan, his late charge on the softs, bring in 4th place with Alfredson in 5th. Then Alu dropped to 6th off the penalties. Then the 2 Ferraris of Marco Escape and Debudo. And Stefano will take 9th on the road, but he will drop to 10th up Desi will cross the line about 4 seconds and trip the Alpine on track. But with the Alpine having 6 seconds on the penalties, Desi takes 9th, Stefano 10th, Glockick will take 11th, and then interesting, Morgan, despite retiring, finishes technically ahead of Surprise because the Williams got lapped. So that's interesting. But anyway, a fairly intense Abu Dhabi Grand Prix has concluded with it being a penalty bonanza and a lot of overtakes as the McLaren trips on the podium. Interesting celebration there. But anyway, it's been the 3rd round of the season now. I almost lost what I wanted to say. My English isn't Englishing today. But that is now 3 races done and 3 different race winners, as I'll allow you to go through the results now.
Right, so to wrap up the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, it is Tony for McLaren who takes the win. He went for the one stop and it obviously paid off. Freddie marked the E-box a little bit later on in the race. He's finished 2nd for AlphaTauri, starting 7th. Jaromir, he hasn't actually changed position and he's got back on the podium, so fair play to the Alfa Romeo. Ryan, he started on pole. He had to box. He went out for almost 20 laps on the hards. He went for the softs. Unfortunately, he's going to just miss out on the podium this week. Roland will finish 5th for Mercedes. Alu, who crossed the line 2nd, 10 seconds of penalties, has dropped him to 6th, followed by Marco Ferrari in 7th. Marco Di Bono in 8th, so Ferrari 7th, 8th. Desi 9th with the fastest lap. Stefano 10th for Alpine. Glockick for Alfa Romeo in 11th. Morgan, who did DNF, I don't know if he'll get the points or not. He's 12th for Haas. Surprise, I don't know if he finished 13th. Nadia, Mustache, and Cohen, Jack, and Evil, all either went AFK or DNF'd.
Yeah, they AFK'd or DNF, yeah. And a Abu Dhabi Grand Prix 4 surprises for X1 round 3 has now concluded. And what would you rate this race from 1 to 10?
I would probably, I'm gonna give it, around the 6.5. Probably 6.5 will get my rating. I think I think it's gonna be really hard to beat that Vegas race that we had last week. But a solid race, a very, very, very solid race from everyone tonight.
Yeah, and so you give it 6.5. I'm going to give it a 7. So rounding it up, it's a 6.75 on average. But you did said it very well that Vegas race from last week is going to be very, very hard to beat, as that was pretty much a benchmark, you could say, in terms of mental races for X1. As, a race full of action and full of drama as well. Not quite as much as Vegas, of course, because Vegas was just a whole different kettle of fish. But yeah, overall, an enjoyable Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And before we do close off this stream, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
I'm going to go just because he went for the one stop. He stayed out for over 20 or so laps on those hard tires. My driver today is going to go to Tony. Fair play to him. He ran away with it, and a very outstanding drive from him tonight.
Yeah, Tony Ritchie, the winner, is a very good choice for driver of the day. And for me, I'm going to just about pick him as well, the McLaren. Even though he picked up that penalty for ignoring yellow flags early on, he was very clean. And once he got into the race lead, he didn't look back, and he just kept it clean to the end and took the pieces for McLaren. And yeah, he will get my driver of the day vote as well, as we've had now 3 races and 3 different teams and 3 different drivers winning this so far in the season, as Ryan Grob won in Australia, Alfredson won in Vegas, and obviously now Tony winning in Abu Dhabi. as that's going to be it for X1 this evening. As next week for X1, we are going to be heading to Qatar, another night race. So we're going to have 3 night races in a row. So we've had Vegas last week. This week we had Abu Dhabi, a night race. And then also next week is going to be a night race in Qatar. And then after that, we'll have another night race in Saudi Arabia. But that's going to be it from us here at X1. I've been Emilio. That's been also Maloon alongside me. Thank you very much for watching here at X1, and we'll see you next week for Qatar.
Adios, yeah. Should be fun. Adios. See ya.
Bye. Good night.